Welcome to the 262nd episode of the So Videogames podcast, where we talk about any game at all, including new stuff, old stuff, and anything in between. If we are playing it, we'll be talking about it. Today we are recording on December 8th, 2021. My name is Brad Galloway. I am the editor of GameCritics.com, and 50% of this here show with me is the man who's grooving to 90s slow jams, Carlos Rodella.
Hey, I used to do that because I'm that old.
I know. You are that old. So am I.
Jeez. Well, I don't know if I'm doing it tonight, but now that you said it, maybe after this podcast.
Get out the old CDs, get out your cassettes, perhaps even.
That's so funny you mentioned that because I was just getting out some old cassettes. And how interesting. What an interesting tangent. Didn't plan it at all. But I was doing that, and they weren't 90s R&B, although I did listen to that, and 90s hip-hop. But it was old cassettes of me on my first radio show. I won't say my age, but I was young, and it was a long time ago. And it was literally, the recording was me and my co-host, and it was basically a podcast. Was
your co-host your mom?
No, it was in college.
Oh, okay. So you were that young.
I wasn't like a child.
10? Like, how young are you? Okay.
Nice. Mommy, can we use a cassette recorder and make a podcast?
Only if I can be on it.
And also, what's a podcast?
Exactly.
Because this is the 80s. No. So I was on the radio station, and it was I literally said this into the mic. I put on my headset, and I said into the mic, this is the first time I've put a headset on a show, ever. And it was like literally like the first time, I did like a radio show. So it was really cool to relive that moment.
Yeah, that's cool. Excellent. It's nice to find those little keepsakes, little reminders. I mean, these little bits and pieces of your past. Sometimes you forget you do stuff, and then you find something, like you're going through a box maybe. I'm kind of going through some of that too myself, because I had boxes and boxes of stuff in storage while we were living in a series of apartments. And now that we have a house with a basement and a garage, I finally got all my stuff out. And so now I'm like, oh man, I haven't seen some of these boxes in years. And just going through some of these boxes, I'm like, oh my God, like I didn't even know I still had this thing. And I can't even barely remember where I took this picture. And like you go through those memories and stuff. It's funny how much we kind of like forget if we don't really have any reason to like remind ourselves of it. Like years and years can just disappear down the memory hole,
Yeah. And again, because we live in the present and we just continually go, okay, what's wrong today? Or what's going on today? Notice how my mind just went, what's wrong today?
Yeah, exactly. We do live in the present. That's exactly like you said. So.
Well, yeah, it's also like an internal problem. But anyways, but not to forget your point, I did listen to Terrence Trent D'Arby, Tevin Campbell. I mean, I listen to all that R&B stuff. So I really should go back and find my old cassettes now. That is slow jams.
Slow jams. No one did them like the 90s. All right, folks. We are not the Slow Jam podcast, believe it or not. We do talk about games here, which we're just about to do. But before we do that, we are going to get to housekeeping. As everyone knows, Carlos and I share a virtual living space divided down the middle of the strip of duct tape. On my side, as per usual, literally fuck all nothing. Jeez. Carlos, you've got a bunch of stuff on your side, though.
I know. I'm the hoarder in this relationship.
You are the one that needs some medication and counseling, but that's okay. For right now, what we have are boxes. What's on your side, sir?
And by the way, everybody wants these, and also I open them up, and then we get rid of them.
Well, I mean, as long as you're putting them on eBay and getting a good price for them, that's fine.
Yeah, we do okay.
You can't just throw it away. You got to get some money back on it.
Yeah, we clean up. So first off, and these are all big hitters or heavy hitters. Okay. First one is PlayStation's going to have a Game Pass.
Yeah, I saw that. There's not a lot of detail, though. Is there? Or is there?
There is a little bit of detail. Again, it comes from game journalists. It's all hearsay, blah, blah. Someone told somebody something. But it does sound like there's tiers, which Game Pass does as well. Although I don't even know what tier I bought. I bought it so long ago. There's
tiers? What do you mean there's tiers?
I think
it's just like either you get console plus PC or just console, right?
There's an Ultimate. I know I booted up my Xbox the other day and it said, you have Game Pass Ultimate or something, I think.
I think that's just console plus PC. I don't think there's any like tier. If you're like, for example, if you only get the Xbox one because you don't have a PC.
Right.
It's just that. I don't think there's a tier of Xbox service.
I don't even know why I have both then.
I mean, maybe are you using Xbox Game Pass on PC?
I am, because by default, I didn't know I should look at my subscription. But anyways, it sounded like there was more than two tiers and what people are guessing. And then one of the ideas was some of it would be demos, like early demos, like ones that weren't available to everybody quite yet, which sounds like early access to me.
Sure.
But yeah, it's all kind of fuzzy, but I just bring it up because we talk about Game Pass all the time, and I always talk about how much I love PlayStation. So I'm calling it, by the way, PlayStation Pass. There you
Yeah,
go.
PS Pass, yeah, something like that. I mean,
Trademarked.
it's a good idea. I mean, because people were talking about it for many years, and many people tried to get it going. Like, many places tried to get it off the ground, and nobody really succeeded until Xbox. But I mean, that was only after at least 4 or 5 notable failures came and went.
Yep.
So now that Xbox has kind of put their flag and got it out there, and people see what Game Pass is all about, I am curious to see what PlayStation's going to do. But I got to say, I don't have a lot of faith in them right now. I feel like I'm just in the corporate offices. I feel like they're getting a little goofy, and I don't know that they have really dialed in the way that Xbox has this generation. At least that was completely flipped last generation. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, if they have it, that's great. I really love Game Pass. I would love something similar for PS5, but we'll see what they do.
Yeah, let's just see. Proof is in the pudding, as
There
they
you go.
say.
And I love pudding. Pudding's real good.
Pudding is real good. And you know what? I haven't had it in quite a while.
Oh man, I love a good pudding. A rice pudding, butterscotch, maybe tapioca is my favorite. Although that's a divider. A lot of people like it. A lot of people hate it. What about you?
I do not like it. And also, you did not mention the best pudding, which is chocolate pudding.
That's low tier. That's low tier
Oh,
stuff.
you are low tier, sir. And also, by the way, if you take chocolate pudding by itself, I would agree that it's not the best. But you got to put a little Cool Whip on there, or whipped cream, and then you're
Oh
playing
sure.
with power.
Oh sure. But it's like, well, okay, we're not gonna. This is not the pudding podcast.
This
We're gonna
could be
table
the
this for
pudding
now.
podcast.
It could be, and there may be some. We may bring it up later, but we're gonna table this for now.
We have
Anyway, I
no
do love
time to
tapioca.
bring it up later, and you know that.
What else you got on your side of the room?
Another hard hitter is, well, obviously the Game Awards is tomorrow at the time of this recording. After you hear this recording, it'll already be passed. I won't mention it too much because I know Brad doesn't give a crap.
I really don't.
Right. But I like it because it's just an enjoyment of games and, new releases, new trailers, anything that can give me new information about games, I'm going to want to have it. So that's why I like it, first and foremost. Secondly, we have friends in the business, so I always like seeing them get, their comeuppance or whatever, people at different companies.
Their comeuppance.
Comeuppance is wrong. You're
I don't
right.
think you want to.
I did not mean that.
You got a grudge? You want to see somebody get spanked on national TV? They're gonna
Watch the Game Awards. That's the announce
That's
it.
exactly it.
That's
We're going
the
to see
joke.
some fools get served on the Game Awards.
Well, actually, what's funny is Bobby Kotick and that piece of garbage and
Oh yeah.
and the Activision thing, they're not going to be at the Game Awards. And people are speculating that maybe Jeff finally, said, hey, we won't have you. Or they just didn't have anything to show. We're not sure. But he did make a statement, Jeff Keighley, that being creator of the Game Awards. And he did say something like, hey, we don't stand for this. And this guy's, the company's bad at doing what they did. Fuck off or whatever.
Did he finally take that side? Because to be fair, I haven't been following this, but like the last statement I saw from Keeley was something like, "We're not going to take sides," and
Yeah.
something like that. I'm like, wow, that's a real fucking gutless thing to say.
Right, and then he took a side, is what I'm saying. The
Oh,
update is
all right.
that,
I didn't see the furthest.
yeah, the update was, hey, they're not going to be here, which again, I don't know who made the decision, but either way, it was just that. And then the follow-up right after him saying they're not going to be here, he said, we don't, condone blah, blah, blah. So, I think they took a stance. And moving on, though, what I'm really excited about is at the Game Awards, I'm pretty sure this is going to happen. A couple days ago, or a few days ago, The Matrix, which is the new movie, is coming out very soon, called Resurrection. I'm insanely excited about it. I'm not sure if you are.
I am not, but
Okay.
I know that you're excited.
Okay. Well, they have a available download. I don't know if it's just PS5, but it's on the PS5. I'm not sure if it's Xbox as well. Yeah, and it's just a download right now, and it's called The Matrix Awakens, and all it says is an Unreal 5 experience.
Is this kind of like a museum thing, like we talked about last week?
We don't know what it is. This is the secret. So I'm thinking they're going to announce it at the Game Awards. And Keanu might even be there because he's done that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And anyways, it just looks really cool because if it's anything playable, it says it's an experience. Like you can, I think, do something within this, whatever it is. And again, everybody who's listening to this is like, we already know what it was, but this is before it comes out. So yeah, I think it's going to
Right.
come out tomorrow, like alongside the Game Awards.
Yeah, it would be neat. I love it. My favorite thing, regardless of whether it's the Game Awards or a Nintendo Direct or whatever, I love when they're like, here's the trailer, And you can download it right now.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that's my favorite thing, right? So maybe they're going to do that. That would be cool.
It makes sense because again, you can't do anything with it right now. It's just like a trailer, but it is a download, and it's like a gigabytes or something. So it's just sitting there, and it's kind of like a Christmas present that I can't open.
Yeah.
So the other piece of news that's huge, and that we're talking about on this show is Halo Infinite campaign is out.
Yeah, I heard people talking about it. Lots of people. It's real hot and cold in my feed. Now, to be fair, I have a lot of Halo lovers, and I have a pretty fair number of people who, like me, are kind of like meh about Halo. And some people are like, "Oh, I love it; it's the best thing ever," and some people are like, "I don't get what the big deal is." So I haven't played it myself. I think we're probably going to be talking about it soon.
We will be talking about it in this episode, but I just had to mention it came out in case anyone hasn't known. I mean, what do you living under a rock? Of course you know. And yeah, it's getting 8s a lot of places, and that makes sense, I guess. But it's just funny because everybody was waiting for it for so long, and it seems like it's just pretty good.
I mean, yes. I don't have an opinion yet. I may jump into it. I may not. I mean, free time is pretty short these days, and it's not real high on my list because I've never been much of a Halo dude. But I am kind of curious to see how the open world concept,
Right.
meshes or maybe doesn't mesh with Halo. So we'll see, I guess.
I will tell you a little bit more in this episode. So please, if you were listening just now, don't stop it. Hang out.
This is not the place to stop listening to the episode because
No.
we haven't even really started yet.
We haven't. Just a couple more things, even though I have 15 more boxes. This I need to mention. So some type of game mechanic I've been wanting my entire life, and that's not an exaggeration, because I've actually worked on games and made these little indie games, and I've always wanted this technology. It's finally coming out in the next couple weeks. The game that I've talked about on this show before is called AI Dungeon. You're familiar.
Oh, yeah. We've mentioned this before.
Yeah. It's a text adventure which pretty much uses AI that allows the game engine to morph to whatever you're doing. So if it's an RPG setting, it'll do like fantasy type words and settings, but it'll go off of what you say. So if you say, I'm going to fight this tree, it'll say like, okay, the tree attacks back, and now you're fighting a monster tree because it's literally going off of what you're saying, which is bonkers, by the way. So I've been messaging the guy, Nick Walton, and I found
Are
him
you
on
sure it's
Twitter.
him and not the AI?
It might be, yeah.
He doesn't answer his own email. He doesn't answer those DMs. He's like, hell no, put my AI on that.
It's true. The picture is, iffy. I don't know. No, it's definitely him. Anyways, they're adding graphics, and I'll explain. So the AI is going to start making very simple pixel art graphics to go along with the random shit that happens.
Like creating them on the fly?
Yes. It's never been done before. I know because I've been following this technology forever. And I was like, I don't know. I found it because I was following him or something. And then I was like, when is this coming out? And he's like, in the next few weeks. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I'm beyond excited.
Interesting. I'm seeing a lot more of like AI. It's like a thing in Twitter. I don't even know what you would call it, but like I'm seeing a lot of people in my feed, like on the artistic side, people who are in tech or who are making games. They're doing these like little visual amalgamations of like machine learning. They'll put in a term and they'll give it to the computer, and the computer will like image search and like combine all of the top results into like one image. So you can kind of get it. I don't know. I don't even know what you can call that, but I wonder if that's what that's going to be like. Maybe it'll have some kind of algorithm where it takes like, I think a tree is supposed to look like this, and if it fought, this is what it, taking top image search for a tree and fight and combining those things, and what does that look like? I mean, I'd be curious to see what it comes up with.
It's close. By the way, there's some images, and so I will put a link in the show notes for us.
All right.
So there's some test images, and I'm looking at one right now, and it's like a king is talking, and so it's like a little character. It doesn't look like an old king. It just looks like a person, but there's like a little crown, and it's like not exactly on his head. It's like, it's really weird. We live in a weird time. And there's also going to be killer robots, but we won't talk about that. Also, there's also an app on your phone right now that makes AI-driven art. So you just type in like, I did a lot of fantasy stuff. So it was like, role-playing game, Melee Warrior. And it would just like put stuff together on a screen, and it does it. So yeah, this technology is coming along. I'm very excited. The game is called AI Dungeon. Everybody check it out.
Right on.
One more thing. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I last episode was the episode you made me rush through all the housekeeping, right? You were like,
Yeah, because we had a guest last
I
episode.
know. I'm not blaming you, but you were like, and move, and move. I was getting hit with a broom in the
Yeah,
ass.
it was, yeah. I mean, we can move things along. I had to
I
get some
know.
kind of motivation going.
I still have the bruise marks from the broom. So I don't
Your
know if
skin is very sensitive, by the
It
way.
is very sensitive. Like a light wind
Yeah,
would hurt
that
it.
that should not have left a mark.
It shouldn't, but it did. Um, so did I mention that got flooded with positive reviews?
You did.
Oh, I did. Okay, I got
You
to mention
did.
that. Which I thought that was nice because I love that game.
Are we just reminiscing to when you brought that up last week?
Now we are because I didn't remember. The other thing I didn't mention though when I was getting hit with the broom was Chris Pratt, who we don't like. We both decided, right?
Yes, we're done with Chris Pratt.
Okay, and the fact that he's going to be in the Mario movie, which by the way got us like banned on TikTok for some reason. We've said that.
Which I'm still bitter about.
I know. By the way, and not to make a tangent and a tangent, but TikTok videos are coming back this week, so I apologize. They've been off for a little while. I'm going to blame it on Chris Pratt, and it's all his fault. But he won't have an Italian accent in the movie. So
The Mario movie?
yeah, so fuck off. Like then there's no reason for him to be in it.
I was gonna say, what is even the point then? They could just be anybody. Like
It
if
could
it's,
be
I mean,
anybody. It should be what's
Yeah.
his butt? Charles
Martinet.
Martinet.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Anyways.
I guess we'll see.
The last thing I'll mention, and there's 10 more boxes, I'll put them in the closet, is Dragon Age is still being worked on. I'm a big Dragon Age fan. I know people listening to the show love Dragon Age. Some news came out that they're definitely working on the single player game. It's really coming along, even though one of the head honchos left the company. I forgot who, but somebody did. But they're just affirming that it's still being worked on, and I don't know when we're going to get it, though. So I guess that's not any news. Can I retract that news?
I guess retract that news. Well, it's fine. It's fine.
My note says Dragon Age being worked on single player. That's all I had written down. So
Okay. Well, okay. You heard it here first, folks.
you
There's
heard it
a
here
Dragon Age
first.
Game.
There's going to be a
Single
Dragon
player's
Age
being worked
game.
on. Broke the news right here, right now.
I guess that's it. But I did want to give a special announcement. No, not special announcement. Special. What do you call it when you?
Acknowledgement.
Yeah, but what do you call it when it's in an award show? It's a special
Recognition.
No, come on. It's
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's almost like an honorable mention. That's it.
Honorable mention. Okay, sure.
To
First loser.
To a new indie game called Retired Men's Nude Beach Volleyball League.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. I didn't know this was coming.
Well, just go watch the trailer. It's a pretty glorious trailer. It's like this really terribly bad 80s type song, and it's a really funny trailer. And the game just looks like a Atari game, like a super indie game, and you can't really see much in the nudeness. But
And you were looking.
I was looking
really
for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's just like it's a really funny trailer. So just everybody go watch it. Retired Men's Nude Beach Volleyball League.
All right, there we go. All right, that is going to wrap up housekeeping for this week, and we are going to launch right into the main content of the show as per usual. Bunch of stuff to talk about. Carlos, since you brought it up in housekeeping, I say let's just talk about it now and get it out of the way. Halo Infinite, the multiplayer dropped a little while ago. I don't know, a week, two ago, whatever it was. And now the campaign is out. It was weird to kind of split it up like that, but it's here now. So I guess most of the game, if not all of the game, is there. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it Game Pass or is it not Game Pass?
It is Game Pass.
It is Game Pass. Okay, I have not downloaded any part of it. My son has been playing the multiplayer. He thinks it's okay. He has not gotten into the campaign yet, but you have gotten into the campaign. You put a couple hours in, I think, right?
Yeah, I think 3.
All right, 3 hours. That's a pretty good chunk. So why don't you share your initial thoughts on the Halo Infinite campaign, my good sir?
Yeah, first off, in all the descriptions of the campaign itself, like on Steam and everywhere, I just went looking for like a synopsis. It's like a paragraph or like 3 sentences, and the rest of it's multiplayer. You know what I mean? Like they're not even like positioning this game as like a game with a story, which is I think weird because it's a huge campaign, you know. But yeah, it's like. Here's Halo Infinite. It's a multiplayer game. Here's all the things you need to know about the multiplayer. But the campaign, here's 3 sentences.
And also a campaign.
Also a campaign. But it is a pretty huge game. And me coming off of Far Cry and, well, never leaving Far Cry, I don't think I ever will. I'm in the shooter mode, first person shooter mode. So I was like, let me try my hand at Halo because I haven't played it for a long time. Also, like you, not a huge fan. I know. There's going to be hate being thrown at me after this review. And also just in general, because, yeah, I didn't have the special attachment to it that everybody else did. I did play it multiplayer a little bit, but I didn't have those special memories that a lot of people did have. That being said, I'm in that shooter mode, so I was like, let me jump into the campaign. First off, and I gotta just get this off my chest, I really think that Halo armor is just ugly. It's like the ugliest thing I've ever seen, and it always bothers me. It makes me angry.
I mean, all right. Let's just take a moment here. Let's just take a moment.
Let's take a moment.
Let's just take a moment. I mean, I agree with you, dude. Like I played Halo when it came out. I played Halo 2. I think I've played all of them. I don't know that I've finished all of them, but I believe I have jumped into everyone at least for a few minutes. Mostly the campaign, not the multiplayer. And I gotta just be fucking honest. Like, I just don't think Halo is a very good game. I know. I mean, it lives and dies by multiplayer, right? And that's fine because I'm not a multiplayer guy. So of course I'm not getting like the quote unquote the good stuff. Probably the same for you, I would imagine. I mean, I'm definitely more of a
Oh.
campaign guy. I imagine you are as well.
Yeah, and like multiplayer just isn't what I'm here for. But that said, this is supposedly a 20 or 30 hour Halo campaign. So I got into it a little bit. The controls in general are pretty loosey goosey. Again, kind of to that multiplayer angle. It's very much like an arcadey type shooter game. Remember we talked about Doom? It feels like that.
Right.
It's like
right.
a run around. Yes, it's an open world in quotes, but the game itself, you're always picking up new guns. It really just feel like an arcadey shooter game. And even the enemies are kind of like, I'm a monster. Some of the actual beginning monsters are doing that. They're like making little voices like, I don't know, it just seems cartoony. So I think in general, I haven't gotten to the full, huge, expansive open world part of it yet. But for me, I think the grappling hook is fun. It's a fun world to run around and shoot things in. But again, I don't think I have any attachment to the single player campaigness of it so far.
Makes perfect sense. I mean, that's how I feel about the whole series in general. So I hear you.
Yeah, so we'll check back next week because I'm definitely going to get more into it. I'm still kind of like hooked on its gameplay loop. That is something that's kind of addictive. But in general, it's nothing like I need to finish it, but I probably will.
All right, there we go. That is Halo Infinite.
For now.
For now. All right, well, this is ordinarily where we would get into the rest of the show, but in a So Videogames first, we had a catastrophic PC crash. On my side, something happened, computer died, and we were just about done with the show. I believe we only had like maybe 2 games left, and we lost everything. So, I've got about 20 minutes left that we can record. So, what we're going to do, folks, instead of just canceling the show and saying we have no episode this week, we are going to salvage it because the show must go on. We are going to go rapid fire through the games that we talked about. We're just going to say a few words about each, and hopefully we will wrap up in the time we have left. Carlos, are you on board?
Yes, and I think we can do it. We got like, 20 minutes? I think we got
20
this.
minutes. We have 19 minutes. Here we go. Okay, first, I talked about Loop Hero, where it makes you go on micro runs in a roguelike fashion. A lot of the game plays itself. I thought the systems were interesting, although I was having a hard time finding out the secrets. I didn't feel like I was getting very far, but I liked it, and I'm going to keep playing. Carlos, your thoughts?
Yeah, I like the art style, and I was saying that it reminds me of like the old school PC games. I wish it was a sim game that you didn't have to be a roguelike, but at the same time, it seems interesting for what it is, but maybe a little frustrating on the roguelike part.
There we go. Also, I talked about Shovel Knight Puzzle Dungeon, which is the newest iteration in this long-running IP. This time, it's a kind of a Tetris-like game where stuff falls from the ceiling. Shovel Knight has to destroy stuff. He's inside the playfield. It's a good balance between attacking and defending because every time you attack, you take damage. So you have to be careful how much you attack. If you get good combos, you can clear off large portions of the board, but you got to be careful to not die. Also, be careful not to have the screen fill up. Tons of stuff to discover, secret characters to unlock. There's a secret boss. All sorts of Shovel Knight goodness in there as per usual. Graphics are great. I think it's really fun, and I am into it. Carlos, your thoughts?
Yeah, it just seems fun because it's Shovel Knight. You said the art looks the same, so that's cool, and I'll check it out.
All right. Then we went to the last Oricru, Oricru,
And by the
which
way,
was
hold on. I don't think we have to say and then we went to. Let's just say it like, here's our 5 minute review.
all right. Just assume that every time we're doing this, and then we went to.
Right. Yeah, we have already done this, but we're going to do it for the first time now.
All right. I'm just grieving, man. This is my grieving
Oh, that is
process.
your grieving. Okay.
All right. The last Oricru. This was an Xbox. It's the demo fest going on right now. You said something
Yes.
like 30 demos, which is I got to get on that tonight. But this is one you played. Tell us really quickly.
Yeah, it's an indie action RPG, so you have me at that. And the controls are a little loose. It's a small team. It's an indie game, but I like the fact that there's some sort of non-linear path. You can kind of do what you want. There's allegiances. In the very beginning, you have a choice to do training sessions, but the training session is like picking allegiance. You have to kill some rat people, and if you don't do it, then you're not training. So it does some interesting things about like making decisions early on in the game. So I like that. It's simple and check it out. Why not?
All right. And then we have Date Night Bowling. Carlos and I both got codes from the publisher, Serenity Forge, who has put out a string of really cool small indies. Carlos, what were your thoughts on Date Night Bowling?
Yeah, I think we both got like tricked because it seems like it's just a dating game, but I think we both said, now I'm doing what you're doing. On the previous iteration of the podcast, we had said that we picked one player, but one player was just us playing bowling by ourselves, and that's not really fun. But you had to pick one player plus computer, and then you can actually do the dating part of it, right?
Yeah, exactly. It looks like a dating sim. It's not really dating sim. It's basically a bowling game with a little stuff around it to make it look like a dating sim. Carlos, I was disappointed. I feel like you were disappointed in this one also.
Yeah, essentially, it's like you play a round of bowling. I still don't know what that's called, and then you talk to your date, and then you do mini games that are kind of like WarioWare. So it felt out of place. One of the mini games was massage, and I was like, that's way too soon to be doing
Yeah,
massage. It's
a little
just bowling.
creepy. A little creepy. Yeah, Serenity Forge puts out a lot of games. I do like what they put out there as a publisher. They're one of my favorites, but this was a miss for me, a miss for Carlos. Next up, Aluna, Sentinel of the Shards. This is one that Carlos paid cash money for.
I did. I paid cash money, and I don't have much money, so this was a stretch. I needed an RPG in my life. This is an action RPG like a Diablo, top-down view, three-quarters view, etc. And you play as a warrior woman who has a mom, which is kind of a goddess, right? She's like what's her
Yeah, she's
name?
from Pachamama. It's from South
Pachamama.
American mythology. I'm not sure specifically the country, but I know it's from that region. Sure.
Yeah, it's a super fun, relaxing Diablo type game where you're leveling up, getting new weapons, upgrading yourself, and if you want that game in your life, this is perfect for it. Like, it's not Diablo, it's not like super advanced, but it's really fun, and I like being the warrior woman and just killing a bunch of random spiders and monsters and warriors, and there's a little mythology in it, like we were talking about, and it's a good, fun game to be had. Didn't you say you played it?
Yeah, I actually did play this on the Switch, and I thought it was terrible. I
What?
thought it was, yeah, I thought it was pretty bad. I didn't like the story, didn't like the mechanics, didn't like the graphics. It may be different because you're playing on a what, PS5?
Yeah, I was playing on my big TV and it looked pretty good. Maybe they upgraded it recently. I don't know.
I have to imagine that makes a difference because playing it on the Switch was kind of a miserable experience. So
Yeah, it's just like if you want like a fun, just random, like a Diablo type game with a little bit of story, I don't know. I like it.
there we go. Next up, okay, so now that was what we covered in the last iteration of the show. That was R.I.P. Rest in peace. Pouring one out for my homies.
Yes.
The games we haven't got to yet, we still are on a time crunch here. Heavenly Bodies. This is a physics-based space game where you play a cosmonaut who goes into space on various missions. I think there's 7 missions in total, and you have to do stuff like dock your space station and drill an asteroid while you're out in space, and do all sorts of like assemble a satellite. And you have like it's kind of like weird Octodad controls where each stick is one arm of your guy,
Oh, I don't
and
like that.
it's difficult, pretty wonky, and it took me a long time to get the hang of it. Something about it is really wrecking my brain, but I think overall it's really well done. I think the physics can be eased back to make it a simpler to play, which is great. The missions are really well designed. You have a lot of variety in your missions. You're doing lots of like little different challenges. Each one has 4 or 5 different stages to it. It comes in a 2D perspective, so you're not grappling with 3D, just 2D, which is already hard enough. But overall, I like Heavenly Bodies a lot. It's a real surprise. I think it's an Australian team, 2 Point Games, I believe. I feel like it's really cute and really fun and kind of Octodaddy, but not too much. I feel like I'm not getting super frustrated, but just frustrated enough where I feel like I'm working hard. But it's good. It's a good hard. I like it. It's a good game.
It's an interesting art too. It looks kind of unique, sketchbooky almost in a way.
It's very clean, very good stuff. I don't really have any complaints about it at all. I think it's a good time.
Okay.
Heavenly Bodies. Next, Nobody Saves the World. Carlos, go.
Oh my goodness. Drinkbox Studios, they make Guacamelee. I love them. This game is freaking awesome. I actually talked to the developer on Twitter and I was like, please tell me the progression continues. And they're like, no, sorry. I made a TikTok video about it. I'll put the link in the show notes because one of the achievements is fall in love, which is hilarious. And when you do fall in love, it's really awkward. The game is top-down view. It reminds me of Crashlands, which we talked about on the show before.
Oh yeah, Crashlands.
Yeah, and Cat Quest, which is very cartoony, 2D looking, but on a open world space, however you call that. And you're just going leveling up and killing things. But I thought originally it was going to be kind of a roguelike, but you die, but it's more about like progressional. It does feel like it's progressional. And you kill things to get experience points, but also to get stars, to open doors. One of the big hooks is you can take on many forms. So the first form you pick is a rat, and you're just escaping a dungeon as a rat, and you're upgrading your rat skills. But later on, you get things like a ranger and a knight. But after knight is horse, which I think is awesome. It's not before, it's after. And there's also, I see on the upgrade path is egg for some reason.
Nice. Okay.
There's a lot of comedy. It's super fun. The art is so awesome and beautiful, and I cannot stop playing it. I don't want to stop playing it. I just about finished the demo, so I love it to death. I can't recommend it enough. It's on the demo thing. Go get it right now. Nobody Saves the World. Drinkbox Studios.
Excellent. Okay, last game of the show, Solar Ash. Coming from, was it Heart Machine? The same people. Oh my gosh, can't believe I'm blanking. That game that everybody loved. Okay, whatever. I can't remember. We don't have time for that. Look it up, Carlos.
I'll look it up.
Heart Machine. It's a very famous game. Anyway, Solar Ash is a strange game. It's a third person where it feels a little bit like Journey. It feels a little bit like The Pathless. It's very artistic, very abstract art, but I think it's really beautiful. Very flowy, very colorful. There's clouds all over the place, and the hook to this game is that you can like skate everywhere. So if you click a button, your character just starts skating and moving at speed all across the landscape. You can rail grind on some stuff. You can jump, double jump. You have a kind of a grappling hook, not really, but kind of like that going on. And you want to like save the world by defeating these monsters that are gonna like, I don't know, whatever, destroy your planet or something. Story's not super important at this particular point, but basically it's just like a very experiential, very colorful, very kind of flow state sort of game where you're skating all over the place and picking up stuff, and you're trying to like get to these particular points in the map. So part of the game is just skating. Part of it is figuring out how to get from point A to point B. Sometimes the point you need to get to is up on top of a building. Sometimes it's on top of a mountain, or you got to just figure out how to get there. That's half the game. Once you get there and get all those points in each map, you fight a big boss, and the bosses are kind of like these long serpentine things, and you skate up their backs, and you jump from like armor plate to armor plate. You want to get to their head and stab in the head. It's all very smooth and actiony and very flowy and very artistic. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot. My only complaints, I think, is that sometimes, even though there is a map function that shows you where you need to go, sometimes it's kind of tough to tell how to get from point A to point B. Like, it's not immediately apparent. So that part was a little bit tough. Also, if you die, you get left with only one piece of life, which means you have to go and collect some life before you go attempt whatever killed you again. Kind of a drag. Just restart me with full life, please.
Yeah.
And other than that, I think those are my only real complaints. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot. If you like Journey, if you like The Pathless, if you like, any of those type of like artistic kind of games that have been coming out this year. What was that one that had the speeder bikes? There's one that just came out recently.
Oh, I
It's
forgot.
on
But
Game Pass.
the other game from Heart Machine, by the way, is Hyper Light Drifter.
Hyper Light Drifter. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you
And
very
then,
much.
yeah, I know, I can't think of that name you're talking about, but also Pathless definitely looks like the same art style. And then, Last Colossus or whatever. What's it called? Last Colossus?
Oh yeah, no, not Last Colossus.
What am
Shadow
I
of the
doing?
Colossus.
Shadow
It's
of
kind of like
Colossus.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, where you're like going up against, big, tall enemies and climbing
Yeah,
them.
it's kind of a greatest hits version of several different indie games, but kind of nicely blended together. And I don't say that as a negative. I don't mean to be dismissive at all. I'm just kind of we've got like 4 seconds here. I'm trying to really nutshell what this game is about. But if you like any of those games we mentioned and you want something that's all about like movement, kinetic, kind of maybe jet grind radio a little bit, that kind of a feel to it, but like in a very fantasy, sci-fi, artistic world full of color. It's pretty cool. I'm digging it so much. I'm only like in the second world out of I'm not sure how many, but so far it's been great. I imagine many people who listen to this podcast would probably like it. So
All
right, there we go. This is the I don't know whatever. What I don't know what we're gonna call this. The makeup show, the I don't
It's
know,
the
the
same
patchwork
show. It's
show.
just an addition, and we did it. We pulled it off. We should give
We pulled it
ourselves a
off.
round of
Yeah.
applause.
I can only mourn for the show that we lost because it was pretty good, but I'm glad that we came up with something and our listeners will not go without this week, although I do
Yes.
apologize. Again, PC crash had nothing to do with it. It just happened, nothing to recover. So I deeply apologize for losing all that show. But
Technology doesn't like you, and we've
we have
confirmed
established
that
confirmed
fully. Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap it up because we are still in the clock. Folks, questions, comments, anything you like, SoVideoGamesPodcast at gmail.com, on Twitter at SoVideoGames, on TikTok, SoVideoGamesPodcast. Hit us up individually. Carlos, where are we sending your traffic this week?
Carlos Rodella on TikTok.
Oh, okay. That was so short. It
That
caught me
was
by
it.
surprise.
I'm
All right.
I'm in fast mode, maybe.
You are in fast mode. As for me, it's my name, BradGallaway on Twitter and Instagram. And that's going to do it for the severely truncated, unexpectedly, episode 262, the one that got away.
Oh.
Thanks again for joining us here on the So Videogames podcast, and we'll see you next Friday with, fingers crossed, a much more normal show. In the meantime, this is Bye from Brad.
And bye from Carlos. We're out of time.